Hello there and welcome to Mission Perspectives, Module number 12. Today we're looking at the subject of mission in the Aussie context. For many of us, we have been involved in churches that are seeking in one way or another to reach out to the people in our own area. We're wanting to advance the cause of the gospel within our Australian context. But of course, as with any missional outreach, one of the first things we need to do is to correctly diagnose, to understand or to be able to exegete the culture in which we are seeking to live and to serve for the cause of Christ and his gospel. To help us in that, we're going to spend some time looking at some of the most recent research from Mark McCrindle. Mark McCrindle has just recently published his Faith and Belief in Australia. It's a masterful piece of research, and Mark has been doing this sort of thing for quite a number of years now. But what he does in this research is help us to understand and to see exactly where our Australian culture is on a whole range of issues. He notes, for example, that whilst only 45% of Australians now would clearly identify themselves as being Christians, a further 14% would nonetheless regard themselves as being spiritually minded. He draws attention to the fact that there is in Australia a growing percentage of people who would prefer to identify themselves as having no religion at all. But interestingly enough, amongst all of the many statistics that he is able to draw out in his report, is the fact that 52% of Australians have indicated that they are in fact open to the possibility of changing their religious views given the right kinds of circumstances and the sort of evidence that would satisfy them. This, I trust, is a source of good encouragement for us to recognise that people are perhaps not as close to the gospel as we might so easily be inclined to think. He also then identifies for us some of the great impediments to people being prepared to consider the Christian gospel message. One of those greatest impediments is the church's perceived attitude towards homosexuality. He also draws attention to the fact that when celebrities get on the TV screen and begin to make a sizable fuss about their faith, that for many non-Christians this is absolutely a turn-off. But then he also draws attention to the things that actually do engage non-Christians in our society. And the number one thing is where they see Christians who are faithfully and authentically living out their profession of faith. That ought to give us great heart in our outreach to those around about us. Following on from this, we will then explore together 11 missional principles that have been set out by Dr. Ian Hawley, a long-term missiologist, not only in the Australian context but in places like Bangladesh as well. He provides for us some thoughtful reflection on how we might more effectively engage our Aussie culture for the sake of the gospel. I trust that you'll find some of this material enlightening, encouraging, and above all inspiring. May God bless you.